Hi there. Before I begin, I'd just like to say that this video is only going to appeal to a very small percentage of people. I'm not a natural at vlogging, and there are many areas that I could have improved upon, from the editing to how I construct sentences to be more presentable. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. It's a lovely day here in the UK, almost not a cloud in sight, and I am just starting my journey to the Isle of Wight. Well, here we are. That was the final bus stop, just walking towards the campsite now. I'm looking forward to setting up my tent. Once I've got that done, I can take off a lot of weight. Yeah, and then it's going to be much easier to explore the island. That was refreshing. Right, I went to see the Stone Gardens, but I've only got 45 minutes before it closes, so yeah, it's probably not worth visiting today. I might have to do that tomorrow. Right now I'm just walking around this church. Yeah, I'm gonna go inside. The women in the reception for Wight Stone Gardens told me to go past the church and find this path out to the bay, so this sounds like a nice little walk to do, so here we go. Alright, that's where I came from. There seems to be a cornfield here. There in the distance you can see some cliffs. That's the path I'm going down. Over there you can see some cows and a house in the distance, and it's very nice here, the scenery. I quite like it. Alright, I've got a road to cross. Now, I want to go there. This will go through here. Right, I just came across the coastal path. This is awesome. You can see the cliffs here. I'm well close to the edge. And wow, look at that. Yeah, this wasn't very well planned for day one. When I get back to the campsite, I'm definitely going to plan out a lot better how tomorrow is going to go, knowing where to go, what time the buses are. It's not every day that something like that happens. So the church I was just at, this nice old man came along and asked, "Do you want to go inside the church?" And I said, "Well, I've only got 8 minutes, but I'd like to." So he opens it up, I go inside and I look around, and he points out the windows of this church saying, "Oh, you know," he said that most people would consider themselves lucky to have one stained window by this artist, then this church has 5. Not just that, but back when Hungary first split from Austria-Hungary, the president, or the prime minister at the time, his son was doing military training for the Second World War around here, and he used to love to go to this church. And he had written a will before the Second World War, because he was expecting maybe he would get killed in battle, that if he were to die he would like to be buried next to this church. Turns out that he ended up passing away due to an aviation accident, and he was buried here. And later, when his father, who was the Prime Minister or President of Hungary back in the day, on his will he said he wanted to be buried where his son was buried, which is again here next to this church on the Isle of Wight. Now, when Hungary went through a communist era back in the past, they managed to get all the rights to move the bodies from here back to their country. So they're not here anymore, but this little church here has a lot of history behind it, and that was just fascinating. Another thing I must point out about my day that I'm having is that these two buses, the last two that I've been catching, were the last buses to stop at these stops. So I was very fortunate to go off the coastal path at the time that I did, otherwise I wouldn't have caught a bus. I wouldn't know how I would have been able to get back to the campsite. Alright, just heading to my last stop today. It's going to be a meal at a pub. So I'm going to sit down for a nice cold pint of cider and I'm going to grab something to eat. That's where I had dinner. Really good. I'm just standing underneath a bridge right now. There's water flowing. It's very nice here. Alright, so I'm reaching the end of day one basically, and so much has happened today. I've done a lot, and I am happy now that I get to go sleep in a tent, and I look forward to tomorrow. I've already made a little plan for what to do in the morning, what time to wake up, so I'll be doing that. Now I'm just going to shower, go back to my tent, get an early night, and hopefully a good rest, and yeah, see you tomorrow. It's nice to wake up early, heading to my first stop of the day. Yeah. So because most attractions only open at 10 or 10:30 in the morning, and it's only 7:30 right now, I decided I would take a walk to an old town hall. Alright, there in the distance is the campsite. So walking along this lovely road, and the countryside here is just fantastic. Look at that. It's beautiful. I love nature. High five, nature. Well, I made it to the old town hall. But unfortunately, it's closed today. It's kind of a nice walk at least. It's only about now that I realise these paths that I'm walking on and all this nature that I'm seeing is what I wanted. Part of me thought that I would get the most out of seeing specific buildings, but the truth is I love walking in the countryside, and that's something that I don't get in Portsmouth, so I'm actually quite blessed. The fact that I may miss out on seeing one thing, but the fact that I have the option to just walk and see the rest, I'm happy about that, so yeah. from the Needle, I caught a bus. I actually had to run for a few minutes to make sure I caught it on time. I still did, so that I could make it to the Mottistone Gardens. I was aiming to get here for 11. The bus that I got on had a little bit of an accident. It scraped against a little minivan. I was sat in the seat that I got to see directly where the wind mirror that I tapped was. So those few minutes made me reach this stop here after the bus that would have taken me directly to the gardens. But that's all right. It's only a short walk. Should be about 20, maybe 30 minutes to get there. This time I'm actually going to see the gardens. Yeah. I like these sort of villages, you know, just stone brick walls, trimmed hedges. It's very nice around here. Well, that's interesting. I just saw the gardens and it didn't take me 45 minutes to get through it all, to be honest. I managed to catch one of the only buses that comes by here today, and it will go straight to Carisbrooke Castle, which is my next stop. Wow, beautiful countryside. And here is the castle on the inside. I've got to admit that the castle walk really makes the difference here. Hose Roads Dixon. Yeah, they sure do. That's the pizzeria I just sat at. It was fantastic. This brings an end to day 2. Just getting back to the campsite now. The number one bit of advice is study the bus routes. Of course you can bypass this if you had a car. Okay, it's 8:45 on Friday morning. Very happy with the amount of time that I've managed to spend here on the island, and I'm very happy with a lot of the things that I've gone to see. And while I may not have done everything that was originally on my list, I'm still very happy with everything that I did get to see, so I'm very happy, yeah. I do not know how to string sentences, you know? I found that when I was cutting the Hailing Island video together, I mean, I just had terrible transitions. Now I'm just looking for the ancient monastery, because there's the new one which was built 100 years ago, which was just fantastic. And now I'm looking for the old one which was built almost 1,000 years ago, but then was demolished during King Henry VIII's time. Oh yeah, we're pretty much here. I believe those are the ruins of the ancient monastery. Overall, the Abbey gets a 9 out of 10 because it's free. This place is decently priced. Wow, I've got this whole carriage to myself right now. I guess now's as good a time as any to reflect on the whole holiday that I had here on the Isle of Wight. So, starting off with a slow start, arriving a few hours later than I should have, and not having had enough time to see the Modstone Gardens. That was a bit of a downer. The other one is not understanding the bus timetable and the fact that there were disruptions that I couldn't have predicted. That also made things a little bit worse for weather, but overall, for all the things that I've managed to fit in just yesterday and today, quite a lot of things, and I did get to see a lot, and I'm very happy that I did as much as I did at the end of the day. 2 nights camping was really fun. I enjoyed it. I always enjoy being in a tent and camping. It makes me more excited for future ones. If I had to put a favourite thing that I got to see while I was here, it's either going to be walking on the walls of the Carisbrooke Castle, or it's going to be the Abbey that I saw this morning. Even though there wasn't much to see, I quite liked it and I felt it was good value for money. This railway station's nice, 16 quid for the ride, and you get to, I saw a little falconry show. I actually managed to not film that. And there was a train museum, which was also interesting. The focus that you have when you're planning a holiday like this. What I should have done differently, and now I realise, is if I wanted to do nature walks, I should have planned just nature walks. If I wanted to do touristic attractions, I should have planned just touristic attractions. I would say try to stay central, like Newport, that's near the middle of the island, so easy bus connections there. If you do have the possibility to drive, definitely take that option, because that way you're not putting things up to chance. And yeah, I guess that's a reflection of the holiday as a whole. So yeah. Alright, I'm ending the vlog where I started it. This time I got off the hovercraft, so yeah, after the train, got a bus to ride, hovercraft. Just walking home now, gonna have a shower. I just finished editing the video and I realised that I didn't film a conclusion. After I got off the steam train, I caught a bus to Ryde, and then from Ryde I caught a hovercraft back to Portsmouth. This was my first time doing a solo camping trip in the UK, and I'm very happy with my first time. Making this video has presented me even more opportunities for improvement in terms of video editing or just presentation style. I don't plan to make too many vlogs on this channel, to be honest. But every time I do hope that I can raise the bar or raise the standard compared to the last one. If you did make it to the end of the video and you're hearing my voice right now, then thank you for just committing to watching the video. That's awesome. Alright, on to bigger and better adventures.